Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Nikos Karunen. I'm the Community Director at Nordic Innovation House here in Tokyo. And together with my colleagues from Hong Kong and Singapore, we will be sharing some of our latest updates, activities, events, and programs with you today. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started. So today's event will be recorded, and you will also have access to the slides later on. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A button that you can find from the toolbar. And we also received a couple of questions before today's event, so we will also be addressing those questions. But thank you again for joining us today. And here you can see the agenda for tonight. So we have 3 of our houses will give their updates, 15 minutes each house. And after that, we'll enter into the Q&A, and in about 1 hour, we will wrap it up. But before I go any further, perhaps if my friends Jackie and Ben, if you would just like to say hello to our audience before we move any forward, and give a short introduction to yourself.
So hello, this is Ben Johansson calling from Hong Kong. Thank you very much for logging in to this webinar. I hope the information is of interest for you.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline. I'm the Community Manager at Nordic Innovation House, Singapore. So I'm quite excited to share about the activities and programs that we have in store in each city. So do stay tuned to the rest of the webinar.
Thank you so much, Jackie and Ben. My name is Nikos Karunen. I'm the Community Director here in Tokyo. I lived in Japan for about 4 years, always involved in the startup ecosystems as part of, for example, Slush Asia and later on Slush Tokyo as well. But before we get into the country presentations, let me just very briefly share a few words about the Nordic Innovation House ecosystem, as it might be new to some of you. Scaling the best of the Nordics is our mission. We work together with Nordic startups, scale-ups, and growth companies in actually 5 of the locations that we have. So in today's webinar, we're focusing on our Asian locations, but besides that, we also have locations in Silicon Valley, where it all started from, as well as New York. We are supported by Nordic Innovation, as well as the National Trade Promotion Organization of the Nordic countries. And without further ado, I would like to hand it over to Jackie to tell you more about what is happening in Singapore. Please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar today. So I'm Jackie. I'm actually the Community Manager representing the Singapore House. So today I'd like to share the importance of understanding Singapore's role in Southeast Asia, and also the opportunities. So Singapore essentially is the gateway to Southeast Asia market, which have about 650 million in population. It is dubbed the regional hub, where all MNCs have their regional HQ and running the business from Singapore, which also means that decision makers and funds and corporate innovation teams are usually based here in Singapore. So currently, Singapore has also about 130 co-innovation labs. So if you are interested to find out more about the Southeast Asia landscape, I do recommend you checking out the Sea Economy 2020 report that was produced by Google, Temasek, and Bain, where they give a good overview about the economy in different verticals and also the development in the past couple of years in this Southeast Asia region. So next, with the cover on the members that who are usually joining the Nordic Innovation House Singapore. So Singapore has this unique role as a regional hub, and how we actually usually engage Nordic companies is whereby they start off exploring. So exploration phase when coming to Singapore is where the Nordic companies do their market validation, also seeking out market players, stakeholders, and also insights of the landscape here. And that's when these companies will come to us, and how we also in return engage with them. So one of the good vehicle that we have been working on is actually producing the virtual market entry programs, helping Nordic companies to understand the landscape better, and then connecting with them with key players in the sectors. So I'll elaborate on more about the programs that we have actually been working on this year. And then essentially, when they are ready, they will establish a permanent presence in Singapore, where they will help you where we will help to connect you with the various trusted service providers to help with, such as legal matters, permits, incorporations, recruitments, and the work culture here, and of course a living culture as well. So from here, the companies usually start to look at the next potential market in the Southeast Asia region, and most of them will actually incorporate their company in Singapore as the HQ. And also over here, we are also working closely with the Nordic Trade Promotion Officers, in short, the TPOs, to give extra support to the Nordic companies itself. So NIH-SG, or in all, is a community platform, and we want to help Nordic companies to scale and grow their business in this region. So when do you actually have the right time to come to Singapore is when Singapore is actually constantly looking for new tech innovations. So if you are a Nordic company and you are ready for new market opportunities, and you have enough resources, the time and money for your expansion journey, we are here to help you with the growth in this target market itself. Okay, so next we have the membership services. So at NIH-SG, our benefits includes network access. So again, we will help to provide the advisory and support services through our connections with local government agencies, of course, also technology matchmakers, partners that we have. We also have a list of trusted service providers that you will be able to have access, mentorship assignments, and of course, online and on-site business matchmaking events with industry partners and investors. For us, we also have an investor in residence, Investigate VC, who helps to also provide support to Nordic companies who are fundraising. Next, we have Nordic Support, which I mentioned earlier, the trade promotion offices in Singapore. We are working with the Embassy of Finland, Business Sweden, Innovation Norway, Business Iceland, and also the Embassy of Denmark. And each TPOs actually provides services subject to standard restrictions and limitations. And in a sense, we also provide guidance through the Singaporean business culture here. In terms of community access, we also act as like a resource center in sharing information about the latest trends, innovation challenges, activities, events that are ongoing in Singapore and also Southeast Asia. And we also like to organize webinar sessions with our members and also community partners. And we also provide company visibility for the members through social media, marketing, newsletter, and also give priorities to them in the showcasing opportunities during partnership events and webinars. So to elaborate on the theme program, so every year, Nordic Innovation House in Singapore, we will curate 3 thematic virtual programs. So due to COVID, we have tried to do more virtual market entry programs. So this year, we are actually doing the water, waste, food, Nordic health, and smart cities topics. So last month, we just concluded the water, waste, food, and we are happy to be able to connect 10 of these Nordic companies with over almost 200 environmental partners in this local system to tackle on water waste, food waste challenges in Singapore and Southeast Asia itself. And then last year, we did the Nordic Health and also the Smart Cities program too. So we are actually now calling for applications for the Nordic Health program. The program will actually commence in September. So if you have solutions in aging, chronic disease prevention, management, and rehabilitation in diabetes, cancer, and mental health, we do welcome you to take a look at our info deck and our program structure and what are we offering. Our target is mainly to help you to understand the healthcare landscape in Singapore and connect you with the key players in the healthcare industry in Singapore. So the program itself is broken down into 2 weeks. So the first week, we are mainly focused on the Nordic Showcase with the local partners, where you get to pitch and have one-on-one meetings with sessions with these local partners. And then week 2, you will have a one-on-one meetings with partners who are interested to find out more about your solution. And of course, ending it with a high-profile closing event. Similarly, in November, we will also be conducting the Smart Cities program. We are still in the midst of developing the concept, and soon we will be sharing more information about what we are looking for. So do stay tuned to our social medias for the announcements of this program. The structure is the same as the health, so this will only conduct in November. Following that, we also have many local partners that we work with, and they are always providing a lot of innovation opportunities. So we have this Abu Dhabi Singapore Smart Cities Open Innovation Challenge that is working with the Abu Dhabi Investment Office and IPI Singapore and also Enterprise Singapore. So this is a challenge seeking smart city solution in developments in the Middle East. And you can take a look at their website to find out more about the challenge statements. They will have also a virtual briefing session on 10th of June, sorry. Then next we have a hybrid summit by Sweden, Southeast Asia Business Research Summit. This will be happening on the 25th of May. So they'll be focusing on sustainability and also digitalization. And if you are based overseas, you can also join this session, one-day event virtually. And they have included speakers from the MFA Suite of Sweden, also Minister for Trade and Industry from Singapore. So this is actually organized by Team Sweden, Embassy of Sweden, Singapore, Business Sweden, and SweetChamp. And it's quite an exciting event. So, and you can join virtually. It's an opportunity to kind of understand a bit more about the Southeast Asia landscape as well. Later half of this year, another annual event that is produced by IPI Singapore. They are actually the key technology matchmaker platform and a subsidiary of Enterprise Singapore. So they will be hosting an event called the Tech Innovation online on the 28th to 30th September. And you can take part and network with partners and investors during this event. So it's more like a crowdsourcing, crowd pitching, and also able to have one-on-one meetings with potential collaborators who are interested in your solutions or tech needs and tech providers. And this is actually the theme they are focusing on for Tech Innovation 2021. So they have green and sustainable future, sustainable food and nutrition, and also health and wellness, which also ties in closely with the themes that NIH-SG is also focusing this year. So we will also be collaborating with them on some of the side webinars this year. Another major event coming up end of the year is basically Street Singapore 2021. They are actually the Asia Leading Technology, Innovation and Enterprise Festival in Singapore. And again, this year, they will be hosting their most exciting deep tech pitching competition. It's called Slingshot 2021. So startups who are interested and have deep tech solutions can join this challenge. And this year, their challenge sectors focus on digital technologies, health and wellness, sustainability, and smart cities. So if you're interested to apply, do take a look at the website that they have. And the Switch itself is also in conjunction with the Singapore FinTech Festival. It is the largest FinTech festival and global platform for the FinTech community. So last year, they attracted over 60,000 participants all over the world. It was a virtual event and a satellite event itself. So they have highlights and speakers and panel discussions about the FinTech industry. So if you're interested, do mark it in your calendar as well. So NIH-SG also offers membership as mentioned. So this is the membership fee that we offer in Sing dollars for for Nordic companies. So as long as you are a Nordic company, we welcome you to take a look at our membership and the benefits that we offer. And again, the working team that we have is listed here. So we have Embassy of Finland, Innovation Norway, Business Sweden, Business Iceland, and Embassy of Denmark. We work closely with them, and our aim is to be able to help Nordic startup, scale-ups, and growth companies to able to accelerate their business in Singapore and Southeast Asia. Yep, I think that's all for me, and a list of partners that I've been working with today, and with ongoing activities and partnerships. So I'm the community manager. So if you're interested in Singapore, you can reach out to me via email. So back to you, Nicholas.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for the insights from Singapore. A lot of really interesting things going on, and we will share the decks with you afterwards, so you can have all the details and all the links. So let me just share my screen, and I will start my presentation. There we go. So next, I would like to present our activities in Tokyo and a little bit about the landscape here in Japan as well. We started our operations last May. We're actually the youngest of the Nordic Innovation House family, but very soon, actually, in a couple of weeks, it has been 1 year for us as well. But before we go into that, I think there are a couple of new faces in the audience. So just to give a brief recap on the Japan ecosystem landscape and a little bit about the startup ecosystem in Japan, as well as it might be new information to some of the people in the audience. So Japan is the largest economy in the world by GDP, and the Tokyo area is the largest metropolitan area in the world. It's also very safe and a very stable country to operate in. And in terms of different competitiveness and innovation indexes, it tends to rank somewhere in between 5 to 20. Regarding the startup ecosystem, we have seen a growth, yearly growth since 2012. There was a bit of a hit in 2020 because of COVID, but still we're seeing very positive indicators that the growth is here to stay. If we look at the total size of the investments, they are still rather humble compared to, for example, the United States. But we're still very happy to see this positive trend. And we think this is one of the indicators why the Nordic Innovation House was also established in Japan. Some of the main cities that you might be aware of, Tokyo, of course, is the capital city, is the largest in terms of opportunities, access to global money, and large corporations. But there are others as well. Such as Osaka, who's already looking forward into the World Expo 2025, building a lot of infrastructure and program around that. And then Fukuoka, which is in the southern part of Japan, has been a lead runner in terms of introducing the startup visa program, for example. And there are some other rising locations as well. So even though we are called Nordic Innovation House Tokyo, our market covers Japan as a whole, and we are quite connected with the other regional ecosystem hubs as well. Then if we look at what are some of the areas where Japanese large corporates are looking for innovations, this is from ILS report actually this year. So Innovation Leaders Summit, Japan's largest open innovation event. We had around 20 Nordic companies who joined this year. It was fully virtual. It will happen again February, March in 2022, if you're interested. But some of the areas that the companies were looking for innovations were very much in deep tech, so fields such as batteries, connected cars, VR, AR mobility, wearable clean tech, energy. These are some of the fields that we have seen year by year gaining attractions, but some of the newcomers were also in food tech, new materials, and also ad tech and marketing related technologies. So also new fields in this year's report. We're also very happy that there has been an increase in investments from Japanese investors to Nordic startups. This has been yearly growing. This is actually all publicly available information. If you're interested, you can check out our friends at Innovation Lab Asia. They publish all of this information, and you can see what are the corporates who are looking into Nordics from Japan and what kind of companies they are investing into. Next, I would like to introduce our focus areas for this year and also moving forward here in Japan. But first, I would just like to highlight that we are industry agnostic. So if you are a tech company from the Nordics, we're more than happy to have you, even if you are not among these focus areas. But these are the areas where we have identified that there are opportunities in Japan and that we have innovations in the Nordics. And I'd like to spend just a couple of minutes going through these in details. So first we have the digital health. We have been working on this area since the beginning of this year, and we've conducted a market research study, interviewing all the way from the government officials to primary clinicians and investors and others to map out what are the relevant opportunities within digital health in Japan. And actually the report is already done, but we're just finalizing some of the last details to it. But we look forward to sharing it with you. It is a publicly available report, but if you're a digital health company or cluster or organization related, or research organization and you want to have access to this report, please do give us a follow or reach out to us and we can make sure that you have access to it. Some of the areas that we have identified are, for example, therapeutics and also image analysis and utilizing real-world data. These are some of the main findings where we think that there are opportunities in Japan. And in terms of business models, we're looking more into a B2C2B type of businesses, but all of the details we will be then fleshed out in the actual report. We will be conducting a lot of activities in this field moving forward and planning something quite big for Q3 this year, which I do look forward to being able to share more details with you as we move forward. Clean tech is another big area that we have chosen as our focus area. So last year with the new Prime Minister, there was a big announcement that Japan will be carbon neutral by 2050. And after that, there was a report by the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry called Green Growth Report, which then identified what are the areas within clean technologies that Japan will be putting focus into. And among those areas, we have identified a couple of them where we think that we have relevant innovations in the Nordics, mainly energy transformation. And here we are referring to decarbonized energy and carbon capture related solutions and hydrogen, and then transportation and particularly clean maritime related innovations. So these are some of the fields that we think that Nordics could really have a great opportunity here in Japan. And we will be building more activities and hopefully also down the line delegations to Japan. The borders are still closed. However, likely next year we will be able to welcome companies to visit Japan. And the third area that we have, the digital transformation, this is an overarching area. Many of the Nordic countries, we have something called a digital ministry, or there is a digital agency within some of the ministries in the Nordics. Japan doesn't have that yet. However, within this year, it should be established, and this will be a central agency that will have an overarching view of the digitalization of Japan. As a country as a whole. The COVID-19 situation has really accelerated a lot of innovations, and it has also brought to the surface a lot of the troubles and challenging points in Japan relating to DX. So we're seeing a lot of movements here at Nordic Innovation House. We've already done some events regarding fintech, digital health as already mentioned, but then we also foresee a lot of things moving forward in the spaces of edtech and e-government, work reform, and all these types of opportunities as well. So this is something that we are also keeping quite a close eye on. But I would say at this point, the digital health and clean tech are areas where we are moving forward the fastest. Jackie already very nicely went through our membership model, so I don't need to go too much in details, but we also offer a yearly membership model, and these are the four same pillars that we offer support in. In Japan, particularly, our members have enjoyed access to our mentors as well as the practical guidance related to the Japanese business culture. We also offer some help and support in terms of localization and understanding of the market here in Japan. A lot of the information is unfortunately not available in English. So we do also support our members in terms of understanding what is going on and what is the latest information in their industry in Japan. But if you are interested in hearing more, please feel free to reach out to us. And also our membership fees are pretty much in line with all the houses. So this is in euros, about 100 euros per month. Next, I wanted to also highlight a couple of upcoming accelerators and events that are happening here. So there is the Open Network Lab Hokkaido. So they are still open for applications until May 20th. The Open Network Lab and related to Digital Garage. This is one of the earliest global accelerator programs in Japan. And we've also had some Nordic companies participating in Digital Garage's program. So we can recommend these. They are currently looking into primary sector, space industry, and biotechnology. And Hokkaido, of course, is the northern part of Japan, and they're working together with, for example, the city of Sapporo and the local ecosystem there. And another local event that we can highlight is the Global Innovation Forum in Osaka. Well, it will be fully virtual, as is actually also the Open Network Lab. So this year, the batch is fully virtual. But in terms of the Osaka 2021, this is an opportunity for companies to get quite tailored business matching opportunities, as well as other market entry support services from the city of Osaka and other relevant stakeholders from that region. It works on a nomination basis. If you are interested in hearing more about it, or if you want to apply to this, please do reach out to us directly, and then we can then share more information, as it's currently not available online. And the application deadline is down the line in June. But these are some of the very imminent applications and programs that we can recommend. Also on our website, we have a list of basically all the relevant accelerators from Japan. And you can find all the deadlines from the past applications from there, or you can reach out to us to ask for more details. These are some of the partners that we work with. So of course, from Japan, we work, for example, the Japan External Trade Organization, basically the Business Finland or the Business Sweden of Japan. As well as from the Nordics. We've worked, for example, with Innovation Lab Asia and Nordic Ninja VC and some others to bridge the innovation ecosystems between Nordics and Japan. And this is the team that we have here, so represented by the Nordic trade promotion offices of all the 5 countries. This is my contact information. Feel free to be in touch. We also have a local community manager to make sure that we are reaching out to the Japanese audience in a good manner. And we have all the socials that you can also give us a follow. But I think those would be the main updates from Tokyo. So I will hand it over to Bin, and I believe I'm also controlling your slides. So please feel free to let me know when you want to move forward.
Thank you very much, Niklas. This is Bin Johansson. So next, please. This is my normal slide about China. As we can see, I always like to show the size of China. So this is GDP in US billion from 2016. So this is quite outdated. But if you don't take the GDP, nominal GDP comparison, just look at the size of China. You can put the whole Europe inside of China. That's the first thing. And for me, I only work with the Greater Bay Area, which is South China, and that is what you see in the deep blue Spain. That is the area I'm working with. Next, please. So the Greater Bay Area, this is also a slide that also shows what the magnitude and how big the Bay Area are in different places in the world. But then the GBA is absolutely will become the biggest one. This is a projection based on these 4 matrices for 2030. Because of the pandemic, I think we can reach the numbers even quicker. So if you look at population size, Greater Bay Area are already the biggest one with a population of 71 million people. GDP growth, even during the pandemic, China and the GBA, it's still growing very fast, not with 5.9 anymore, but definitely good growth. And the GDP US dollar in billion, as you can see, the New York area and Tokyo Bay, like Niklas said, Tokyo is quite wealthy still. But let's see how long it takes for China to catch up. Or only my area, the GBA area. Next, please. So today I'm going to go directly because Nicholas and Jackie already talk about the membership fee and how all the houses work. All Asian houses work with similar patterns. So I'm going to go through the programs directly. In the Hong Kong side, the Hong Kong house, I will be rolling out different programs. And there is the free part, which is the program partners, introduction, webinars, business technology, matchmaking, and those kind of things. That is fully supported by my biggest partner here, and this is Invest Hong Kong, Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, and Cyberport. So most of the program and the things they're doing is for free. But then if you want my local expertise from the Nordic Innovation House Hong Kong, then you can become a member of the house and pay the 12 months membership, and then I can help you with more details. And then when we have events and other hybrid formats of activities, you have the chance to showcase your product, and also we also customize individual meeting programs. And for the big whole program for us, there's also an aftercare support that I provide. Next, please. So let us start with what kind of events the Hong Kong House have. I have 3 events that is ongoing and coming back every year. It's a Hong Kong FinTech Week, which is the most normal one here, because Hong Kong, after all, is a financial hub. For the Greater Bay Area, we always talk about 9+2 cities for the 70 million market. 70 million people market. So you have Macau for the entertainment, casino, and gambling side, and then you have Hong Kong as the financial hub, and then you have Shenzhen as China's Silicon Valley, and Guangzhou, who is actually the capital of the province Guangdong, and then we have the whole high level or manufacturing sites. Basically, the Greater Bay Area is the world's manufacturing place. And other cities who is quite important, who's growing very quickly now, is Foshan, Dongguan, and other places that it will be interesting for you to have an eye on. So for me, the Hong Kong FinTech Week will be in the 1st of 5th November. I will go in details with this program, and the other Gerentech and China High Tech Fair will follow similar patterns. Next, please. So the Hong Kong FinTech Week is the 1st of November 2021, and this year it's decided to be a hybrid format. Hybrid in that sense that the Greater Bay Area and Hong Kong, people will move around. We will have like physical locations for different networking. But I think for the Nordic countries who is interested, this year will be a fully online program. And the program is cross-border. So Hong Kong, Invest Hong Kong is the big driver here, but then we will also take you over to meet with Shenzhen's financial hub. Next, please. To keep track on, all these 3 first slides that I'm showing, everything is for free. It's provided by Invest Hong Kong. So you have to make sure to follow the timeline and apply to get into all the benefits you can get from this program. So like you see here, this is the sales point that you can scale to Asia through Hong Kong, not only to Greater Bay Area and China, but we also cover the areas and bridge the gap to Singapore, believe it or not, and the rest of Southeast Asia. Of course, we are the gateway to GBA, and if you land in Hong Kong, there will be a lot of support from Hong Kong to the rest of the world. So when I say land, means that if you register a company in Hong Kong, then you can get into funding that the Hong Kong government provide for so-called Hong Kong companies. That is the landing part. So international exposure, and for those who don't know, Hong Kong still have the lowest tax in the world, and there is a lot of venture capitalists and fundings that you can find from Hong Kong. Next, please. So the fast track program here, they will open soon in June. So this is what you can get without paying for anything. You get, if you apply for the fast track program, it's a tailor-made one-to-one virtual matchmaking with corporate and investors champions. And you can see last year's champions are in your left side, like Mitsuho and Allianz, you know, all the big financial companies, insurance companies, and banks and so on are represented here. So the verticals, it's almost the same this year. in insurance, capital markets, wealth tech, and so on. But this year it will be a little bit heavy on regtech and also very interested in blockchain. Blockchain with cryptocurrency. It has been a big thing also here in Hong Kong. Again, one-stop consultation from Invest Hong Kong, and you can get free of charge if you follow the timeline. Next, please. So here is the timeline. As you can see, the global fast track start. The application line will be open up in June, and during July and August, it's all open, and you can just go in and apply. And then in September, the application close, and they start the first choosing of companies. And then in October, you have the matchmaking platform. It's open up, and you can go in there and basically choose the companies you want to meet. And by the end, when the Hong Kong FinTech Week comes, then you can have access to all kind of webinars and meet people on the virtual booth and so on. So what the Hong Kong House offer when it comes to the membership fee is the delegation exhibition. I will have a virtual booth in these big settings. And for you, when it comes to fast track, there's a lot of company applying. I think last year is around 500 or 600 company applying, and they're choosing maybe 100 or like that to join the whole program. So basically, if you apply and you cannot, if you're not a good fit, you can still have a chance to come to this whole FinTech Week with the Hong Kong House. So I will offer same kind of things, and I will help you to get into other side events too that is coming up later. And last one is sort of support programs. Here, the Hong Kong House together with the trade promotion offices, like Jacqueline and Niklas said, we have the Business Finland, Business Sweden, Innovation Norway, Innovation Center Denmark, and Business Iceland, who can help out to reach out, and we build the programs together. And so it's three different, one is free, one is the delegation exhibition that is a member of the house, and the last one is a full program that you're going to pay the TPO. Next, please. So this is the timeline, and here again, Invest Hong Kong actually have a Nordic people in Gothenburg. So you have Mats Gerlam and Gert, I hope I pronounce it right, Gert Hovens in Gothenburg, that you can contact when it comes to the fast track and how to, and more information about FinTech and other programs that they are driving in Hong Kong. King Leung, head of FinTech, and Max Lau, senior manager of FinTech, they are actually here based in Hong Kong. So mind the time difference if you want to connect with them. Next, please. So the other side event, if you're a member of the house, this is what I can offer to CVCF. The Cyberport Venture Capital Forum is a part of the FinTech Week, and here is another platform for you to pitch. And CVCF invites a lot of Southeast Asian and other Asian venture capitalist family offices to join the CVCF. And here, through the house, you have a chance to pitch and to meet other companies. Next, please. And this is my other big partner. It's the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park. They have been doing this epic elevator pitch every year. And again, the information you can find it yourself and do the most of the free part yourself. Information, contact me or the Invest Hong Kong, and I'll send you the link and everything. But if you're a member of the house, you can get, basically I have a deal with Epic that I can fast track 5 company minimum, because one from each country, up to 10 companies, depends on what kind of companies, fintech companies you are. And this it's literally, if it was live and you're in Hong Kong, that it was sync with this event, they throw you in an elevator, the Sky 100, and you push a button, and within 60 seconds you're up on the 100th floor, and during this time you have to pitch, and you can win up to 160,000 in cash prize in US dollar, and up to $5 million US in investment from different. Hi, Nicholas, next.
Hello, sorry, I'm
Hello.
not sure if me or did we all lose you for a second, but anyway,
Oh,
I
you
hear you
did.
well.
I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. Don't worry. Next.
So the epic is done. So the next,
Yes.
please. Yes, here. I'm just going to show you, if you get into, again, with the landing in Hong Kong means, this is the Hong Kong STPs, all the programs you can have when you land in Hong Kong. The day you are in Hong Kong, you can basically apply for everything. Depends on where you are in your startup. Are you an accelerator? Are you in a growth? Are you in scaling? And so on. So this is only the science parks programs. They have it all the way up to the LEAP program, which is actually what we call the pre-IPOs. And after LEAP program, you also have their elite program, which is really taking you full up to the IPO. Then in that sense, you're basically a unicorn status. So this is only for Science Park, and there's other similar programs from Cyberport and other family offices and accelerators in Hong Kong. So all this is the package that I have to become a member of the house. And next, please. So this program, it's together with all the partners and also with the TPOs. So we are building like really on-site program for you, just like the Singapore are doing right now. Normally it will be like, not online, but I think this year everything will still be online. You will have, Nicholas will share this deck so you can see details later. Next, please. So what I'm trying to say here is like for this packaging, we will help you during 1 week in October to prepare you to get through the whole FinTech week. And during FinTech week, we will try to help you to schedule and to meet people and match you up and with investors pitching and all that. And after that, you also an aftercare. The people that you want to meet that you cannot meet, we will try to get them for you. So it's like almost a full month of work divided in different months. And with this package, you also have automatically a membership from the house, and I will follow you the rest of the year. So this is basically the programs that I'm running. So for the next 2 programs, I will go quicker, and they are basically the same kind of settings. Next, please. So Gerontech is about elder care and handicapped care. So this is basically a showcasing of your product, and you meet the buyers on site. So last year was a hybrid format. Most of the companies who's already in China and in Hong Kong, we have a live showcase in the exhibition center. The rest of the international companies called in and showcase, the normal, everyone is very used to Zoom now, Zoom or Line or WeChat or WhatsApp, whatever app you use, they can help you out to sell like on site. Next, please. So I'll do this Gerontech together with my partner Business Sweden will be the lead, and the other TPOs will also showcase this program for in each country. Next, please. So pay attention to this slide. This is what the Gerontech are looking for. So it's very detailed. So if you have products, devices, or anything within these 16 categories, please contact me. And I think that for me, the feeling is the Gerontech is not really for startups. It's more for company who have a product to showcase, and you actually can sell and mass produce. That would be interesting. And within this category, if you're going to if you want to do R&D and have all the benefits that Hong Kong can give, then you can also apply for the HKSTP, land in Hong Kong, and I will help you in and find funding for the rest of the matchmaking and go-to-market solutions here. Next, please. The last one I'm going to bring up is the China High Tech Fair, which is in the 17th to 21st of November in 2021. Again, last year, 2019 was a big bang for the house. We have like 30 companies coming over, and the pavilion was the most lively pavilion in the whole exhibition event. But last year, it was a hybrid format. So all the companies in China fly to Shenzhen and have the exhibition as normal with social distancing rules. But all the international companies that can't fly because of the COVID, we have a hybrid format and call in. It was a little bit messy, but this year will be much, much better because now we know how it works. So this year, 2021, will be the same. Next, please. So the free part, again, the #1 technology show in China, and I think that we are fighting with Shanghai. Shanghai is coming up very quick and very forceful, but this is the categories for the China High Tech Fair. So clean tech, energy savings, new energy, environmental protection, advanced manufacturing, high-end equipment, ICT, communications, electronic information, biological, pharmaceuticals, medical equipment, big data, cloud computing, smart city, IoT, AIoT, and this year they added aerospace. You know, everyone wants to be Elon Musk and go to space, so I think that's some kind of this, I guess. Finance and investment. So part of fintech, it's also very interested. And again, I think a blockchain, it's also on the list, but I don't know, don't really know what they mean with that. So the more information will come during this month or during June. Next, please. So the free part here for the China High Tech Fair is provided by my partner, the Nordic China Startup Forum, backed up by Nordic Apiary. Nordic and NCSF are doing calling for companies right now, and you can do pitching contests with them. And if you get picked by NCSF, you get everything for free for the Nordic Innovation House Hong Kong, because I'm a partner with them. So basically, during this week, I will have program that is also matched by mirrored by Hong Kong, because this event is in Shenzhen, is in the Greater Bay Area. Next, please. So for you who already missed the first pitching sessions, who started in April already, the next one will be in Stockholm, May 20, and Stockholm, Helsinki, and Gothenburg, Malmö, I will be a judge. So if you're really interested in the China High Tech Fair, please apply and pitch, because you can get everything I said for free. This is a free part. And for companies who is not in Sweden, you can, for Norwegian, Finnish company, you can still apply. I mean, when they set a time or as a place, it's because the team in Stockholm is handling it and the team in Helsinki is handling it. They welcome all Nordic companies that want to pitch, who want to go to China. And I forgot to say that Nordic, the NCSF, they are doing the whole China. Because this year will be online version for them, but normally NCSF will take care of 4 areas. They fly companies over to Beijing, to Chengdu, to Shanghai, and then down to Greater Bay Area, Shenzhen. And I take care of the Shenzhen program only. So this year, the pitch, the one who win this year, next year, if they can fly, those are automatically qualified to join the team next year to China. And then you choose where you want to go, because there is companies who have been trying to go to all 4 places. It's quite hard. It's a very big country again. Only in Shenzhen and then come over to Hong Kong will take a lot of time and effort. Next, please. So this is the free part. Again, sorry, Niklas, can you go back one? Have in mind, so the other, the detail of this program will come out later, by the end of this month or beginning of June. I'm still in a negotiation phase of doing the hybrid format, because this time China High Tech Fair want me to do a physical booth, so they don't want me only to be online. So that's why I don't have more information for now. But like Jacqueline said, stay tuned, follow us in social media. We will be posting a lot I will be posting a lot during this, during June at least, because there's deadline to follow. So stay tuned. The last things that the house do, next please, it's something totally opposite of what we normally do, because during COVID, I have been a little bit creative. So I am scaling Hong Kong back to the Nordics. So I applied for a government funding from the house side and bring Hong Kong to Finland and Sweden. So this is a digital entertainment and gaming program together with Cyberport, where I'm going to bring 10 to 15 digital entertainment and gaming companies from Hong Kong back to Helsinki, Finland, and to Sweden, either in South Sweden, Skåne, or to Stockholm. They haven't decided yet. All the admin is done. So basically the project is kicked off May 1st and will end next year. So the mission for this project is to bring a Hong Kong delegation of 50 C-level governmental people, digital entertainment CEOs, and so on to Finland. We haven't decided the exact traveling date yet. It depends on the pandemic, but it will be in February or March 2022. But before that, there will be 4 webinars happening, and we're going to match company and so on. So stay tuned for more information. Next, please. So this digital entertainment and gaming project is together with Cyberport, where they have this digital entertainment leadership forum. This is last year, so this year they're planning. So for me, the end game will not only to bring the Hong Kong companies to Sweden and Finland. I will, during this program, also try to bring you back to Hong Kong, because in 2023, or maybe end of 2022, I think that I'm trying to get Hong Kong to start some kind of digital entertainment and gaming competition where we can, where it's located in Cyberport and so on. But again, a lot of planning, so stay tuned. Next, please. So this is me, again, normal, just like the other houses. Next, please. And here's more details about what the basic membership covers. Next, please. And this is my partners or my stakeholders in the Hong Kong team. So my embassy and consulate a little bit spread out of all over China. So I have a Swedish and Finnish consulate in Hong Kong, the Norwegian and Danish consulate in Guangzhou, and the Icelandic embassy in Beijing. And also Innovation Norway, they're spread out in Beijing and Shanghai. Business Finland is in Beijing and Shanghai, and Business Iceland is only in Beijing. And then you have Business Sweden, Beijing, Shanghai, and Hong Kong, and so on. So again, big country, a lot of stakeholders to keep track on. That's me. So next, please. So here's my contact information, and I'm giving back to Niklas. And I'm sorry. Too much time. You should stop me.
It's fine. That is fine. I think some of us saved a few minutes. Thank you, Ben. Very interesting. A lot of activities happening, and we will share, as mentioned, all the details after this, after the webinar, for everyone to look more into. But great. Thank you, Jackie and Ben, for your presentations. We still have about 8 more minutes before we wrap it up. So now is the time for Q&A. So if you have any questions for any of the houses, please feel free to use the Q&A or the chat function, and please do indicate to which of the houses you would like to address your question to. But just to get started, we would like to pick up a couple of questions that we received through the registration form. Thank you for that. And the first one is addressed to all of the houses regarding EdTech. So what kind of innovations are gaining success in the educational field in Asia? And what kind of competition can companies expect when entering these markets? So EdTech innovations and EdTech challenges. Jackie, would you like to go first from Singapore?
Yeah, sure. So I would say that in Singapore, for EdTech wise, right, Singapore is actually EdTech is actually a maturing industry right here, and also with many opportunities. So in Singapore, the government has actually initiated or formulated many master plans to boost ICT for work training and educational teaching purposes, and how the nation have been focusing on has also been focusing on like lifelong learning. Whether you're young or old, they actually encourage us to use digital tools as learning solutions, and also upgrading our skills. Especially now we are living in the digital world, so a lot of companies and organizations want to upskill their employees as well. So that's when in terms of educational tech platforms would be really, really useful. And also to highlight that actually in Singapore, we do have a first EdTech accelerator called EduSpace. So it's actually founded by a Finnish guy called Nico Lindholm. So he's actually the creator and founder for the EdTech accelerator. I think they have about 3 to 4 cohorts already, and they're actually supported by Enterprise Singapore. And also in November, there'll be an upcoming event on EduTech Asia. So if you're interested, you can go online as well to search for EduTech Asia happening in November.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jackie. Great to hear that the Nordics are active in the tech field in Singapore. What about in Hong Kong, Ben?
Hong Kong, we just have the Esperanza EdTech Accelerator who is done. Sorry for that. So, because in Hong Kong we are selling to Greater Bay Area. So the Esperanza EdTech Accelerator, actually one Finnish company qualified because they choose 10 that they're gonna. The idea was to physically bring them to Hong Kong. They pay the tickets and the lodging and everything and make a program for them because it was a competition. And then they bring you to here and showcase Hong Kong's, you go directly, you get contact directly with the primary schools and everyone depends on what you are selling. And then they take you over to Shenzhen. And as I said, there's other cities who is quite strong. So Dongguan is one of them who is actually putting efforts in EdTech. So the market here is quite big. And Invest Hong Kong have actually a full department working with EdTech. And for me, the Icelandic company Atlas Primer, who is actually an audio teaching app. When they started, it was more like, they were like, okay, we're gonna have an audio and teach people languages and things and help kids to, study. Because if you're the iPad, you point, it's interactive, but you don't talk. So you don't really do. So when the pandemic came, they was a little bit a halt, but then they pivoted. So now they are super interested because they find a niche that they're gonna help dyslexia kids, or not only kids, adults too. So they find one niche that they pivoted in right now, and all of a sudden they have a market of 700 million people, and they're very fit in the gerontech elder care setting and the elder care and handicaps care. Didn't think of that, but now I'm helping them to check out the education sites. But to summarize, in China, the edtech, it's very mature. So it's hard competition, but then China and India is one of the biggest edtech market in the world of, I think it's the whole total global education expenditure will be around $8 trillion US. And China and India take 50% of that part. So yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's a very hard competition. It's a very mature market in China and in Hong Kong.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Ben. Very different in Japan, I would say. It is not a mature market, and I think the challenges are indeed that edtech itself is still looking for its shape. But we have had, of course, the COVID-19 crisis. Even though many of the schools, for example, have stayed open in Japan, even during these different types of lockdowns that we've had. However, kind of reflecting also to Ben's mention about finding these niches where you can make a difference. We've had, for example, a couple of Nordic entries in English education related innovation. So this is a really big market. It's also quite competitive, but it's definitely quite lucrative. And then combining that with AI and different types of algorithms. So I would say that the opportunities are perhaps not within the formal education, where it can be quite difficult to get into very protected schools and universities, but more in the leisure and entertainment. So instrument learning applications, or learning how to program, and also programming for kids, for example, is definitely a field that's growing. And then also reflecting on Jackie's, those on the B2B side, and also onboarding and training related applications. We've seen some Nordic entries in this field. So those would probably be the areas where it would not be that challenging compared to getting your solutions introduced to the primary education service providers, for example. And we've had some good cases with having Japanese investments backing and having that connection to enter into the field here in Japan. Great. I think we had at least time for one more question. There was one from the registration form about especially interested in climate tech or clean tech related solutions. I can just say from Tokyo's end that this is one of our key areas, as I mentioned earlier, and particularly in decarbonized energy and clean maritime. And we are planning a lot of activities in this field. And actually just last year, clean tech as a newcomer was in top 10 most funded startups in Japan when it was according to different vectors. So clean tech really, they almost say that it's the second coming of clean tech, because there was a lot of buzz in the early 2012 and so, but now it's kicking up again, mainly of course because of the governmental initiatives around it. But maybe we can quickly also hear from Singapore and Hong Kong related to clean tech, and if you have any initiatives around it. Jackie, if you want to go.
So basically, early this year, Singapore actually rolled out their Singapore Green Plan 2030. So it's actually a national sustainability movement which seeks to rally bold and collective action to tackle climate change. So this movement is actually spearheaded by a multi-agency efforts of 5 ministries in Singapore, and environmental organizations like National Environment Agency, PUB, which is the water agency in Singapore, Sembcorp, which deals with like waste and energy, are constantly seeking new innovation solutions to enhance their technology to tackle challenges in wastewater, food waste, water treatment in Singapore as well. So which is very timely with the program that we did last month, which is the water waste food virtual market entry program. So the 10 companies actually had the opportunity with close networking sessions with the key environmental players in Singapore, and to be able to pitch their solution directly to these partners itself, who are actually the key decision makers in this sector. So one of the aims of this Singapore Green Plan is actually to first plant 1 million more trees in Singapore, and then solar energy deployment by 2025, reduce the waste sent to our landfill by 30% by 2030, also going carbon neutral, and also to newly register cars to be cleaner energy models by 2030. So I would say Singapore side is putting a lot of efforts into sustainability itself.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. Maybe very quick comments from Ben as well.
No, I think this clean tech is just too big to quick comments on. So it will be in the next session. But I will say like this: for those listening in, if you have anything you specifically want us to dig deeper in, please email us, and we'll maybe the next webinar we can talk about that instead. That can be an idea, because clean tech, again, it's one of the biggest thing right now. The China 5-year plan, I think the party talk about. They are following what Jackie just said about the plan that everyone else is following. So they're also trying to be carbon neutral. I don't know how, but it's gonna need a lot of work. So we need a lot of clean tech solutions here. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ben. And exactly as Ben mentioned, please do feel free to reach out to us via email. We also didn't have enough time to answer all of the questions, but it is 6 already here in Japan. So I would like to wrap our webinar here. Thank you all so much for joining us. You'll get access to the recording and to the slides. All of our contact details will be there. So please feel free to reach out. Even during these COVID times, we are up and we are running, and we are promoting Nordic startups, scale-ups, and growth companies. And of course, besides our Asia locations, we are also active in Silicon Valley and New York as well. But with that, I would like to thank you all for joining and wish you a lovely continuation to your day.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.